Hello, everyone. My name is Maria DeSimone. I'm a professional astrologer. Welcome to my channel. I am super excited about this video topic because it's something a little different that I hope all of you are going to benefit from, that you're going to engage with me and participate in this experiment, because this is actually something that I require from all of my astrology students who are learning predictive astrology, and it is something that isn't too difficult to do. So what we're going to do in today's video is I will teach you how to track your Mars transits. So Mars is the planet of action, energy, assertive drive. Mars will excite and motivate what it touches in the birth chart, but it will also inflame and aggravate. It can be both at the same time. And depending on what Mars is doing in your particular birth chart, will give you the idea of whether or not Mars will tend to lean towards more of the difficult shadow expression or the higher vibration expression of Mars. Now, that is talking about your natal birth chart, your natal Mars, and the aspects that Mars makes in your birth chart. But transiting Mars will be very interesting to watch in your birth chart, because Mars will move through a different sign approximately every 7 to 8 weeks, unless there's a Mars retrograde. But in general, Mars will spend give or take 7 or 8 weeks in a sign. And that means that when we use your whole sign chart, Mars will be transiting through one particular house, one particular area of your life for that duration of time. Now, if you are using the Placidus house system, it does get a little bit trickier, because then the signs tend to span through more than one house at different points, depending on your particular birth chart. And I encourage you to track both for yourself if you can, and experiment and see what you notice. Be an objective mad scientist with this, please. So what you have to do first is get an astrology journal. And that could be any journal you like. It could even be a notebook, whatever floats your boat. So you get your astrology journal, and the astrology journal, the point of it is not to track your feelings. It is to track your cycles and what actually happens when you are having these cycles. And for each sign, I am going to talk to you about the importance and the fun of tracking a Mars transit. And we're going to go through each of the signs. I'm going to give you the dates of the current Mars transit, where Mars is now, at the time of this video, in Sagittarius. And then I'm going to also talk to you about Mars going into Capricorn, which is coming up next in January of 2024. So you could track both, and this will be a fun experiment. Before I get to that, however, I do want to tell you about something on my website that a lot of you might not know about, but I think there is tremendous value in this, and I wanted to share it with you, especially because there will be some really cool changes to this in the new year. So on my website, insightfulastrology.com, I have a membership option. And with membership, there are 3 different tiers, and this is not through YouTube. This is different. Okay, this is actually through my website, and I am going to share my screen and explain this to you, because I want you to see how you could save hundreds of dollars by becoming a member of Insightful Astrology. If you are someone who consumes astrology content, who is an astrology enthusiast, who is an astrology student, or even if you're an astrologer, you will benefit from membership. So I'm going to share my screen and explain to you what I offer, and then I'm going to show you what is coming up, actually. So when you go to my website, insightfulastrology.com, this is the homepage of the website. You're going to get to the homepage, and the homepage always looks different depending on what I have going on, but we're not focused on the homepage right now. Go up to the menu tab here, and you will see right after the homepage, there's a join button. If you click on that join button, it will take you to the membership page, which is going to explain the different tiers of membership. So it says here, the sky's the limit when you're a member of Insightful Astrology. As a subscriber, now this is for any tier, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, as a subscriber, you will receive access to all 12 of my video horoscopes for 2024. That is an $85 purchase if you buy it as a standalone product. You also get unlimited access to the Insightful Astrology Chart Maker. I don't know if you know this, I have a free chart maker on my website. Anybody can make one free chart a day, but members can make unlimited charts. So this is what every member gets, whether you're a 1 month, 6 month, or 12-month member. If you are a 6 month or a 1 year member, in addition to what I just mentioned, you will get one of 6 free astrology reports that I offer on my website. And I have a plethora of reports, from natal astrology to relationship astrology to predictive astrology, even children's reports. So there's so much to look at there. And if you buy a report standalone, it's $33. You're getting one included with your membership if you are a 6-month member, and you'll see that if you're a 1 year member, you get 2 reports included. So that's a $66 value. You also get a series I did called Astrological Lifestyle Videos. And this is on the Venus and Mars signs for every single person. And these were professionally filmed videos that are really chock full of information about what it means to have Mars in Cancer, for example, what it means to have Venus in Taurus. Every single Mars and Venus sign is covered as far as your love language and sex language for yourself or anybody else. That is a $44 value if you were to buy it as a standalone product on my website. Now, if you're a 1 year member, you get the best value, because in addition to everything I said, you will also get my webinar, How to Handle Your Saturn Transits, my webinar, How to Handle Your Pluto Transits. You will also get coupon codes to give you $75 off of an initial consultation with me or a relationship session with me, and $25 off of the half-hour predictive update sessions, as well as $25 off of the tuition to any of my teleclass, my Zoom classes. They're actually Zoom classes now. And again, like I said, you get 2 free reports instead of 1 if you are a 1 year member. Now, these are the tiers: the bronze, the gold, the silver. The silver is 6 month, the gold is the best value. It's only $135 a year. And if you did the math, you will see that you are actually getting hundreds of dollars in astrology content with this option. All of them offer the unlimited chart maker and the 12 2024 videos. It is an automatic recurring membership, but you can cancel anytime very easily by just logging into your portal and following the cancel instructions. So please don't think that you are obligated to stay a member forever. If you just wanted to sample it and see if this is right for you, you can totally cancel at any time. Now, I am offering for 1 year members. You know how on this YouTube channel, I do live streams, and I have this Ask Maria live stream for certain level 3 members here. In 2024, I'm transitioning that, and it's going to be on my website. For 1 year gold members, there are going to be 6 Ask Maria webinars live per year. And you're going to get Zoom links that when you log in as a member, you can click on the Zoom link or get the recording if you can't attend live, and you can participate. And I will look at your birth chart and answer 1 question. And that will be an additional service that I offer for 1 year members on my website. So I hope you go and check it out. This is how you guys can support me and my work and the continuation of me being able to produce videos like this on this channel. So thank you for that. Now let's talk about your Mars transits. Mars went into the sign Sagittarius, and Mars entered Sagittarius back on November 24th and will remain in Sagittarius until December 3rd. Now, I'm not focusing so much about Mars in the sign Sagittarius with this exercise as I am focusing on where Mars is in your particular birth chart. Okay, so what I want you to do in your astrology journal is write down Mars entered Sagittarius from November 24th until December 3rd, 2023. And if you are an Aries rising, this goes by the rising sign only, okay, guys, because this is the most accurate way to track your transits. If you are Aries rising, then you write in your journal, transiting Mars is going through the 9th house. If you're a Taurus rising, transiting Mars is going through your 8th house. If you are a Gemini rising, transiting Mars is going through your 7th house. If you're a Cancer rising, transiting Mars is going through your 6th house. Leo, transiting Mars is going through your 5th house. Virgo, transiting Mars is going through your 4th house. Libra, transiting Mars is going through your 3rd house. For Scorpio, it's the 2nd house. For Sagittarius rising, it is your 1st house, your ascendant, your 1st house. For Capricorn rising, your 12th house. Aquarius rising, your 11th house. And for Pisces rising, it is your 10th house. Now, this is for when transiting Mars goes through the sign Sagittarius. Now, after that, from December 4th until February 12th, 2024, transiting Mars will then be in Capricorn. And for Aries rising, that means that Mars will move into the 10th house. For Taurus, it will be the 9th house. For Gemini, it's going to be the 8th house. For Cancer, the 7th house. Leo, it's going to be the 6th house. For Virgo, it's going to be the 5th house. For Libra, it's going to be the 4th house. For Scorpio, the 3rd house. For Sagittarius, the 2nd house. For Capricorn, it'll be your ascendant, your 1st house. For Aquarius, it will be your 12th house. And for Pisces, it will be your 11th house. Okay, so you get all that sorted out in your astrology journal. And then I'm going to talk to you now about some basic themes that you will notice when transiting Mars is going through all of the houses. And you're going to document, you're going to write down, well, what happened during this several week period when transiting Mars was going through my 1st house or my 3rd house or my 8th house. And you are going to scientifically observe and see how you are relating and connecting to this Mars transit in your life, in your reality. And this is such a fun exercise to do, guys, because it will bring the astrology to life for you, and it will help you pull down the meaning of the cosmos into your life. And you can see this, you could track this, because a Mars transit will repeat approximately every 2 years. So approximately every 2 years, you will have Mars going through the same house in your chart. And you can start to notice themes, general themes that are likely to happen for you. Now, this is mitigated by what your birth chart says, what planets are in your particular birth chart and how they're laid out. So that's a little bit more advanced, and that's not what this video is going to cover. But just to briefly mention, if you happen to have planets transiting Mars will be making a conjunction over, or maybe a square or an opposition, then that is going to change the flavor of that Mars transit while it's touring that particular house in your birth chart. So please keep that in mind. That's not what we're going to cover in this video. Maybe I'll be doing future videos where I can talk about the Mars transits to the planets particularly, but I want you to remember that a Mars transit moves fast. And a major life event is not likely to happen off of a Mars transit. In fact, it won't. It just flat out won't. What a Mars transit will do is serve as a trigger where the bigger outer planet transits or other cycles, progressions, solar arcs that are happening in your birth chart, predictive wise, if transiting Mars touches something that's happening in your chart in a bigger cycle, then transiting Mars serves as a trigger to wake it up, to excite, to inflame, to incite it into action. And this is one of the ways that an astrologer can use Mars as a timing tool to help kind of consolidate a bigger cycle that you're having. When we see that Mars is going to pass over one of those bigger cycles, we know that it's going to be woken up and activated, and an event will likely happen. But that's beyond the scope of this video. For this video, I'm just trying to keep it simple and just look at Mars through the houses. Okay, so I'm going to go back now to these houses 1 through 12 and talk about, in general, what could be happening when transiting Mars is moving through any of these houses. So we're going to start with the 1st house. When transiting Mars crosses your ascendant and moves into the 1st house, what it is waking up is everything that has to do with 1st house topics of the physical body. This is your physical body. It's the entry point, guys, into the physical self. It's where the soul enters the physical body for this lifetime. So it is absolutely a physical point in the birth chart, a very important one. And Mars here affects physicality. You may notice more energy. more stamina, more enthusiasm, more of an interest in doing physical things or starting new projects that require a great deal of effort and oomph. Okay. This could also be a time period where you are very self-directed because the first house is very much connected to the personality and the self. So you will be very self-motivated, a little bit focused more on your self-interests, and really able to move forward, to push ahead with your personal agenda when transiting Mars crosses your ascendant and moves through your first house. You could also be pushy. In the shadow, you might be very selfish and pushy and a little short tempered. These things are possible as well. So you track it in your astrology journal and see what that looks like for you. Now, transiting Mars going through the second house is talking about your finances, how you make money, your livelihood, your earning capacity. And Mars does two things. Remember, it incites and excites, and it inflames and aggravates. So two things can be happening simultaneously. One is that while Mars is transiting your second house, you're really likely to have a great deal of motivation in you to make money. And so you might launch a new revenue stream, a new way to monetize something, a side hustle. You may be really amped up to do that. But at the same time, you may also encounter an aggravated expense. And so both can happen at the same time. And it's something that you're going to want to track in your astrology journal. How is this unfolding for you? Are you focused more on your livelihood, on your talents and abilities and developing them? Do you notice that you have more guts, more courage to cultivate one of your talents and abilities? That's possible. Mars going through your third house will bring a lot of busyness for matters connected to your neighborhood, to neighbors and siblings, perhaps. You might be very active with short trips, doing a lot more, and any manner of communication is likely to be sped up, and you're motivated to pursue communications projects. This is a time where you might be very talking faster. Your ideas might just be flying. I mean, the mind is sped up when Mars is transiting through the third house. So when Mars goes in the fourth house, now we're talking about home, family, real estate. And this is a time period where there may be more motivation to complete projects around the house. There might also be some more arguments, contentious behavior between you and a relative. You might be short-tempered about something that's happening domestically, and you may not have the patience to deal with it. So you might, get a little aggravated there. The best way to work through a Mars fourth house transit is to consciously do something physical at home so that you can discharge some of that energy for anger and that could be more contentious. Now, transiting Mars going through your fifth house is going to really be an exciting time. So the fifth house topics are children, romance, pleasure, sex. And since Mars rules the libido, typically when Mars transits through the fifth house, our libido is heightened and we are really feeling juicy and sexy and we want to go get ours. And we're prioritizing the pursuit of pleasure, whatever pleasure means to you. If you have children, this could be a time when there's some behavior issues with a child, depending on their age and where you are a little bit more short-tempered, but you may also be engaged in a lot of physical activities with your children during this time period very successfully. Creative projects, you're really sparked and motivated to pursue them during this time. Mars in your sixth house is likely to bring some energy in terms of your daily routine to where you can do more in less time. You're checking a lot off of your to-do list. You're really getting through your tasks and your schedule. If you are in a workplace environment, there may be more arguments or some issues between you and colleagues, coworkers. You may find that teamwork is a little harder to achieve. So if there's a collaborative project that you're working on when transiting Mars is going through your sixth house, it might be a little harder to deal with that. And since the sixth house is also illness, Mars may aggravate an existing illness. It might trigger something, inflame something into action, activation, but you will also be really motivated to heal. And you're likely to be very proactive when it comes to healing. So when transiting Mars is going through your seventh house of partnership, you're motivated to connect with others, but you're motivated to do it on your own terms. So it's harder to compromise when transiting Mars is going through your seventh house because even though you're motivated to connect in partnership dynamics, you're doing it through the lens of self-directed personal agenda. So that could be a little tricky, but you are motivated to connect. And there could be a lot of energy around forging business alliances or going and getting new clients if you're in a client-based business, pursuing that new business. In terms of your personal life, it could be that you and your partner are arguing a little bit more. It could also be that you're really both motivated to get through your conflict, and you might be tackling a problem together very courageously, very proactively. So that's a great way to use that transit. Now, Mars in the eighth house, it's another financial house, but it's different from the second house because the second house is money that you make from your direct paycheck. The eighth house is money that comes to you from a source besides your own direct income. So this is other people's money. This is lenders. This is creditors. This is the IRS, inheritance, and this is any kind of money that you would get from a passive income stream, royalties, commissions, bonus money, settlements, alimony, child support, all of that. Mars here, you may have to fight for that money. You may find that you're in a position where you have to fight to get that money that you know belongs to you. There may be some issues there, and you may actually have an aggravated expense that's bigger than usual. Like you find out that an insurance premium goes up significantly, or you find out that you owe the IRS money. Okay, something like that could happen with this Mars transit. But it's a really great time to proactively pursue a revenue stream that is connected to passive income, that is connected to perhaps investments or royalties, commissions. But just remember not to be hasty. Mars likes to rush and do things quickly. And if you do things too quickly with financial investments without doing your due diligence, it could bite you in the ass. Now, Mars going in the ninth house. Track this because this transit motivates you to pursue advanced education, spirituality, possibly divination, astrology. This is a really wonderful time where you're motivated to explore new territories, maybe travel internationally. This might also be a time where if you're involved in a legal matter, there could be a lot of fighting and really kind of instigating with this legal matter. You're ready to fight to kind of get justice. It's a time where you are highly ambitious in ninth house pursuits. So if you are in any kind of academic program, you're really motivated to get through this program and to make progress in this program. In terms of your spiritual studies, you're doing independent study. Okay, Mars is very independent energy and proactive energy. So you're really just kind of going and starting and doing something in that ninth house area that is going to make you be very sure of your belief system connected to your personal identity. Now, Mars in the 10th house, career, big career transit. It is one of the best times by itself, not considering anything else, of course, to start a new business, to reach for a promotion, to pursue a new career goal. Why? Because Mars is the planet of action, energy, excitement. Mars rules entrepreneurial efforts. Mars is ambition and motivation. Mars gets shit done. And if you need to start something new professionally, having Mars supporting you is just such an asset because you will be tireless. You will be excited. You're going to be sparked. You are going to want to win and crush it. It's really an exciting time for 10th house career pursuits. You may not have the patience. You may feel like you want an overnight success. So you do have to be a little patient. So, excuse me. See how your 10th house Mars transit goes. Now, Mars going through the 11th house. The 11th house is your social hub, Okay, so friends, alliances, groups. The 11th house is also connected to your greatest hopes, wishes, and dreams. And when Mars is in the 11th house, there may be some more arguments with friends or in social situations, but there can also be a great motivation to do something that affects a mass of people, to pursue a humanitarian endeavor, to make a difference. This is also a time where you are courageously and assertively pursuing your greatest aspirations, and you can do it very successfully. Finally, Mars going through your 12th house. Now, this is like a respite transit. Before Mars gets into your first house and you're raring to go, Mars needs to make you take a bit of a break. And Mars through the 12th house can be a valuable time, even if for some people it can be a little frustratingly quiet, because now the planet of action and energy is working behind the scenes and nobody's really seeing your efforts and the action that you're trying to take and what it is that you're trying to pursue. So Mars in the 12th house is very good for behind the scenes projects that you have to work on in secret, for starting something strategically behind the scenes that once Mars gets into your first house, you can launch, that other people will be able to see. Mars in the 12th house is also assertively pursuing your healing, your spirituality. This could be psychological breakthroughs. This could be intuitive moments, okay, where Mars here is motivating you for that. Now, this can also be letting go of anger, unhealthy connections of anger or toxic behaviors. Valuable time when Mars is going through the 12th house, even though, like I said, for some people, it can feel a little frustrating because you may want to get something off the ground, but it's not quite the right time. So please see this as, a time where the time that you take for this time out is going to serve you very well. We're not much good if we don't get a good night's sleep, right? We can't really run a marathon if you don't get a good night's sleep the night before. Think of your Mars transit in the 12th house like that requirement. You've got to get that good night's sleep. Otherwise, how are you going to win the marathon once Mars gets into your first house? Okay, so this is a little breakdown of Mars transits. You should all be able to see now where Mars is transiting in your chart after watching this video based on your whole sign chart. And both work, guys. I want you to also look for the Placidus, be open to that. I use the Placidus house system in my client work and in my classes when I'm teaching modern astrology. So I really encourage you to track both because they're both accurate. It's not that one is right and one is wrong, but by you tracking your transits in a more specific way using your Placidus house system, instead of the whole sign, you can get a more specific range of dates where transiting Mars is in one house versus another. But the dates that I gave you are going to be accurate for any whole sign house, and it will certainly be valid. So let me know in the comments below, based on your astrological journaling and tracking of these Mars transits, what has actually happened in your life connected to your particular Mars transit through whatever house it is. I really want to hear it. And I hope you join me over at insightfulastrology.com in our membership portal, because there's a lot going on there and so much value for the astrological enthusiasts out there watching this content. So thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day.